I will be forever the myth.
You're the king of kings, Arnold.
There's always a pecking order. The little packers never mess with the big packers. So I'm a rooster, and he's a chicken, so to speak.
All right, well, let's start with your class, Jose, the 212. So last year we had Shaun Clarida come in, big shock. The guy was totally improved, and he beat Kamal El-Garne, who won it the year before. And then we had Derek Lunsford, and we also had George Peterson in the top 4, right? So what's your prediction? You think Shaun Clarida is going to come back and win again, win a second title?
Well, that would be the safe bet,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because he's not old, he's not young, but he's still improving. If he can improve even 1% on what he was last year, you know, common sense would say he's going to win.
Yeah.
My bet, what I'm going with, is Derek Lunsford is going to finally put it together.
Mm-hmm.
And even a 10% improved Shaun Clarida is not going to be able to beat what Derek is bringing to the stage this year. I think he's going to nail it once, finally. And that'll be his last 212 show.
Mm-hmm.
He'll win it, and he'll move on and be a threat immediately in the open division. I think that highly of his physique. And I think that highly of Hani's ability to help him.
Yeah.
You know, Derek has been prepping with a guy who was just a local guy that worked at GNC. He was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll help you.
Yeah.
You know, anyone could have helped him. He's got those
That kind of
crazy genetics.
Right.
You know, now he's got a seasoned, proven, multiple Olympia coach in Hani Rambod that knows the intricacies of the body of these guys. And Derek has a newfound confidence and a newfound love for the sport.
Yeah.
That he didn't show last year, and he didn't have. You know, you talk to him and he was like, yeah, I'm just going to do my best. And, you know, he looks different. He acts different. He's talking different. I'm going to go with Derek. Derek is, I think, I'm pretty confident that with his height, his width, his, you know, shape, his flow,
Yeah.
all those things, because he's kind of a combination of the top 2 of last year,
Mm-hmm.
where you have Kamal with really good width in the shoulders, really beautiful lines and flow, but with ultra muscularity now of Shaun Clarida. You know, and you know, he posted a pitch a couple weeks ago of a back double by that would probably only be beaten by Rami at this point. You know,
Derek Lunsford.
It was so impressive. You know, my only concern is him dropping another 10 to 15 pounds to make weight. Does he deflate? But I am confident enough that Hani will know how to really handle this situation. And that has been the problem for the last few years.
Right.
You know,
when did he take second to Flex Lewis? What year was that? Was that 3 years ago?
2018. Yeah.
18. Okay. So
that
then
was my last year. Flex's last year. And he looked good, but he wasn't close to Flex.
No.
You know, but he's way bigger now.
Way
more
bigger,
muscular. And he's way more mature. The physique has different lines in it now. You know, his legs are gigantic.
Yeah.
If he can hold on to it. Like,
right.
You know,
Well, that's been the problem, right? That's been the problem the last few years.
Exactly. I saw him a month out from the Olympia last year, and he was enormous.
Yeah,
huge, striated quads. And then the day of the show, he was skinny. Like, I'm like, how the hell did that happen? Well, that's because he didn't have the experience. His coach didn't have the experience, and that's not a knock on him.
No.
He did his best, and he obviously did a great job with Derek. But you need someone who's been there over and over again that knows all of the little intricacies of making weight and then coming out at your best.
Yeah. So what do you think Hani will do that's different than what Derek's other coach did? Because he's going to have to make that weight, and that's where he screwed up all the time the last few years.
Well, he's going to have to do exactly what he didn't do the last few years.
Yeah.
Which is, he let him. I know one thing is gave him free reign to eat and train this offseason.
Yeah, I know.
Grow, keep going, grow, let your body grow. And that's something Derek wasn't doing. He was kind of like holding his weight back.
Yeah.
Should I or shouldn't I? And Hani's like, no, we need mature, hard muscle on you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not bigger than Hadi. And Hadi still makes weight if he had to.
Yeah.
He knows that he can do it. So I think he's going to just suck him down. And what's left is going to be all that muscle that he allowed him to grow in the offseason.
Yeah.
Rather than holding him back.
Yeah.
It's more seasoned muscle. It's another year, and he's not going to do anything crazy. He's not going to carb him up with pizzas and cheeseburgers, and that's stuff that I'd seen Derek doing.
Yeah,
and he's going to keep it quality. That's what I would do. I would make sure that he's close in weight, and then that he makes it on the day, and then you slowly fill him back up with quality food and. None of the shit loading, because then he'll spill over and then he'll be a little soggy looking and people say he's flat. He's not in shape when really he's in great shape. It just looks soggy.
Yeah.
If anyone can do it, Hani will do it. And I have confidence. And I'm so excited to see Derek because, I've been a huge fan of what he's capable of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nobody has that structure. Nobody.
Right.
And you just want to see it fulfilled,
Yeah, we all do, right?
And I love Shaun, and it wouldn't surprise me if Shaun came back as a cartoon character again and won.
Right.
But I'm gonna go out on. I'm gonna say Derek wins, Shaun second, Kamal third.
Okay.
And then it's a crap.
Jose, how much time will they have to carb up? Like when do you weigh in? How much time do you have?
So here's the thing. When Flex was champ, they let us weigh in on Wednesday night.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes we didn't hit the stage till Saturday morning at the expo.
You got half a week.
Yeah. So I don't think it's that way anymore. I think the weigh-ins are going to be Thursday and then probably Friday night prejudging.
Yeah. That's when prejudging it for 212, right?
Yeah, or even Friday morning, Friday night. Like Friday morning prejudging, Friday night finals, 212's done on Friday.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen, and that gives them very little time to adjust. But if he's smart, they'll make weight early so he can still eat the day of weigh-ins.
Mm-hmm.
There's a science to it, Make sure you're under. If he weighs in at 210 at 10 a.m. on the day of weigh-ins, well, then you can still eat a little bit. You're not going to be in preservation mode where your body starts panicking.
Yeah.
And, so if he makes weight early, and that's something I always used to make sure I did, he can still eat the day of weigh-in.
Right.
It's a nightmare when you can't eat the day of weigh-ins and then you expect to get on stage the next day.
Right.
All you're going to do is get on stage with a belly full of food.
Yeah. Well, I think you made a good point too, that he should eat good food. He should eat the food he's been used to eating the whole year instead of eating junk food. Yeah. I've seen guys make mistakes like that and it always ends up being bad.
Right. I mean, it's a very rare case that will work.
Right.
And if it does, all the power to you, but I'm not willing to try it.
Yeah.
So after Derek, Shaun, Kamal, then you have, could Keon nail his conditioning?
Oh, I forgot about Keon. Yeah, that's right.
Can he nail his conditioning? The only reason I haven't thrown his name in the top three is just I've yet to see an Olympia conditioned Keon yet.
Yeah.
And it really matters, because especially next to someone like Derek who has crazy structure.
Yeah.
Keon was 100%, I don't know that he could beat 100% Derek yet.
I don't think so either.
You know, and can he beat 100% George Peterson if he's only 85%?
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is really all we've seen of him, is it 85, 90%.
Right.
He's another one that I feel just like Derek. Like, I want to see it. I don't think it's ready. I don't think it's going to happen right yet, but I cannot wait to see that, because that'll be a sight to behold. But
you think with Keon, it's that a lot of people, you got so many people saying, man, you got the greatest potential ever. You could be the Mr. Olympia winner in the 212. Do you think that gets in his head and he doesn't like really push it?
No, I think it gets in his head a little bit because he didn't do the Olympia last year for that reason.
Yeah.
But I think if someone spoke to Keon the right way and said, listen, don't let it get to you because you're only 26, 27 years old.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to look like a 35-year-old man. You know, don't try to rush it. When you try to rush it, your physique looks rushed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't look seasoned. You don't look ready. You know, just be your best. And your best is one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
You know, let the chips fall where they may. But he needs time. And, you know, dude, he could be top 4 or 5 in the world, which is nothing to shake your hat at.
Right.
And that's where I see him. I see him in the 4 or 5 spot, I think, between him, George, and then, you know, there's just crazy Europeans too that like people forget about. And the Russian kid with the inside out dryness. And you know, there's some guy coming from Brazil that looks like he's 240.
Really?
Yeah, his name is Lucas Coelho. He just won the show in Alicante, Spain.
Okay.
He is a freak. Big legs, small waist, vacuum, lots that come out crazy. I don't know that his condition is going to be enough. Just because, you know, the top 3 guys that I've named, they're just lights out condition.
Yeah.
And but this guy Lucas could be something. He could be up there. You know, guys like, you know, I'm really excited to see like a John Jewett, a Nathan Epler, the guy Tonio, the kid who won Indy. Tony, how do you say his name? Tonio? I forget his last name, but he was pretty awesome. Okay. Really thick. He wasn't 100% conditioned in Indy, but he did beat Nathan Epler and he beat John Jewett.
Okay.
And he's very good, very thickly muscled and very complete. If he nails his condition, he'll be right in there too. You know, sometimes it throws me off because some of these guys are taller than I'm used to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's.
How do you think Shaun Clarida can improve from last year? Because last year he just looked so jam-packed with muscle. If he gets bigger, do you think it's going to possibly ruin his lines or ruin his physique?
No, he did get bigger. Because you saw that guest posing, right? With him and Nick Walker.
Yeah.
And
I saw the one with him and Akeem.
Yeah, I mean, his legs are just wild.
I know.
You know, as long as he poses, which I know he does, works on his presentation, holding his stomach in. His legs are bigger than his waist now, so that's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
His arms, he is bigger. He's probably going to be 3 or 4 pounds bigger.
Okay.
Which on an adult frame would be like 20 pounds. I had to throw a jab at him. He's the only one I'm taller than. He's gonna be better. He's gonna be bigger.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. I've seen something out of Derek that is very different than what I've seen in the past.
Yeah.
Massive shoulders now, very mature shoulders. You know, he's the widest guy. You know, his back is just insane. His legs are insane.
Right.
His midsection is insane. The glutes, you know, he's got all the bells and whistles and then some, and then he's bigger than everyone, like structurally bigger and better.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I think his structure is incredible. So
It really is.
It's just a matter of him nailing it, you know?
It's really the best in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I mean, even like Ramy doesn't look better than him. He's just bigger.
Yeah.
You know, that nobody has that structure, that craziness.
Right.
So I would love to see, the ideal scenario would be for him to win and then be in the first call out next year in the Open. I think it can happen.
Yeah.
I think it will, but I think Clarida has more time. Even if he loses this year, he'll come back the next year and win.
Yeah.
You know? He's the only one I see is Derek and Keon. And I don't think Keon's ready to beat Shaun. And I think Derek is.
You don't think Keon will be in the top 3?
I do not think he'll be in the top 3. I think he'll be top 5 just because he's so pretty. But that's my top 5. It's going to be Derek, Shaun, Kamal, Kiana, Georgia, Keon.
What do you think about Kamal? Now, Kamal won it 2 years ago. He lost a close decision last year to Shaun. So what do you think his mindset is coming in? I mean, do you think he feels he can win again?
Of course, yeah. He looks phenomenal. I see pictures of him almost daily.
Oh, you do? Okay.
He's huge and he's in great shape. And you know, the problem is his body is his body. It's, you know, the things that brought him down from Shaun are still a weakness to him.
Yeah.
And Shaun is improved. And basically, Shaun's legs are bigger than they were, and Kamal's at 50 years old aren't bigger than they were.
Right.
So they're still decent. They're still good. He's still going to have that insane midsection, the insane presentation, the presence, you know, when he just stands there. Mm-hmm. And he's one of the very few that can do a front relax, crunch down on the abs.
Yeah.
And it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And still have the width and, you know, conditioned from every angle. Every shot he hits is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
You know, that's where he's a professional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Kamal is one of the most decorated bodybuilders of all time, worldwide, internationally, and it shows.
Yeah.
That's why he's an Olympia champion, an Arnold champion, and runner-up last year, and he's definitely a threat to win again. I just think the things that held him back from winning last year will continue to plague him at another year older.
Yeah. It seemed last year he tried to come in a little bit bigger. And when he won 2 years ago, he had that polish, especially against Derek, who wasn't peaked that year. And he was so hard and so polished. And I think last year tried to come in a little bit bigger. He didn't have quite the polish. And I thought, from being there and watching it, I thought Shaun just out-muscled him. I just thought Shaun was just so big and so overwhelming, you know.
I thought he was plenty polished. I think Shaun just out-muscled him, like you said.
Yeah.
It is a bodybuilding show. And, you know, Shaun's freakiness, you just couldn't take your eyes off him. You just can't stop looking at him. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
You know, and Kamal has that beautiful look. Like, wow, that is a statue. Like,
mm-hmm.
And even if he was off 1%, I don't think condition was what mattered, because really in like a rear double bicep, Kamal won that shot with all the grooves in his back and his glutes were crazy.
Yeah.
It's just the round bubbliness of Shaun, and Shaun was hard as hell.
Yeah.
You know, very dry. And that's probably what's going to happen again. You know, Shaun only got a little better. And Kamal, I don't want to say that he didn't, because I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be hard for me to wage a bet at 50 years old that he got better.
Yeah.
But listen, I think he got better last year than he was the year before.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely bigger.
Yeah. And, you know, so who's to say he's not? I just say that my bet is definitely Derek and then Shaun. And I'm just going out on a limb, because usually the Olympia champ, if he improves or stays the same, he's going to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think it's Derek's time. I think I just feel that that's where it's going.
What about George Peterson? He had a lot of buzz, when he first went into 212. He was a big guy, incredible back. And then last year he got fourth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think? It doesn't seem there's a lot of buzz about him this year.
I think he runs into the same problem as Derek in that he's tall.
Mm-hmm.
And he's taller than Derek.
Yeah.
Like significantly, like 2 or 3 inches taller.
Yeah, I think he's like 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah. And he has so much muscle on him that he looks overwhelming, 3 weeks out at 225.
Yeah.
But you get him on stage. He's striated at 240. You get him on stage and he almost looks off. You're like, whoa, he's not in shape. Well, he's soft as hell. He has that making weight problem.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to run into the same problem, but he's still good enough, still polished enough, round enough, everywhere to be in that top 4. I don't see anyone like I see him beating Keon. Yeah. I just do because it's a polished look that Keon doesn't have yet.
Yeah.
And that's where I see it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think George can hold the amount of size that he needs to beat someone who he's 7 inches taller than in Clarida.
Yeah.
Or Kamal or Derek, they're both significantly shorter. But you know what? Crazier things have happened. I wish him the best and I hope he does.
Yeah.
But this is all just from my own personal experience, what I think is most likely going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with all your picks, Jose. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think Derek's going to win, and I think Shaun will be second. I think Kamal will be third, and probably, like you said, George fourth and Keon fifth. That sounds like a good top 5. I think that's. I hope Derek pulls it together too, because we all want to see that physique reach its peak, and I think we're all frustrated as fans watching the last couple of years,
right?
Seeing the pre-contest photos and then seeing what he brings to the stage. It was just frustrating for everybody, especially him.
It would be a feel-good story. And, again, Shaun, it doesn't put him out of the running because he can come back next year and win. Because I don't think Derek would want anything to do with making 212 ever again.
Yeah, right.
He's just growing out of his skin. It would do him no justice to stay in the 212 division. I think he moves on, win, lose, or draw after this year.
Yeah.
Which would be the smart move for him. But Derek Shaun can come back and win next year, and the year after, he's still only 37 years old, which was, I was just getting started at 37.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing.
Wouldn't that be wild if Derek won the 212 and then eventually one day won the Olympia?
I think he will.
God,
I think he will. Yeah, I was talking to, I don't know, maybe Chris, and, around the time that I had seen him, and then I saw who was winning, and I saw this is all speculation because he's not standing on stage next to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he would beat Hunter. I think he would beat Ian. I think, structurally he's put together. He's just as big as them. He's just shorter.
Yeah.
But he's structurally better.
Yeah.
So I told him, I'm like, screw the Olympia, dude, go do the New York Pro.
Yeah. I remember you said that. Yeah.
And I told them, no matter what happens this year, I'm like, go win the New York Pro next year.
Yeah.
That's what he should do.
Right.
Dude, I think that physique is just off the wall.
I do too. It's a beautiful physique.
Yeah. And he can do it at 225. Nobody's bigger than him. 230, 225. Nobody's bigger. And he's absolutely shredded at that weight as well. So,
yeah. Kind of reminds me of like a Danny Padilla. It's just so perfectly put together.
Yeah.
Much bigger, obviously, much bigger.
Yeah. But that vacuum, that rib cage.
Yeah, man. Structure.
Tiny hips.
Yeah. His shots are mind-blowing. They're just mind-blowing.
Yeah. Really good legs. Really good round quads. It's all coming together for him. His shoulders are as wide as anyone's. Those clavicles.
Yeah.
It's really mind-blowing to see him. when I saw him in March, he was 255 in great shape, totally striated everywhere.
Jeez.
And I mean, his legs were just huge.
Yeah.
And that's when I was saying to him, like, dude, do the New York Pro. Forget the 212. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Tell me you got to lose almost 40 pounds or 40 pounds off of this, and you look so good.
Yeah.
You know? So we'll see. I think we beat the 212 to death. There's a couple names that we didn't mention that I probably forgot about. Some of the, the guys overseas and whatnot.
Yeah.
And those guys are all crazy dark horses.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're going to have to
in.
really be good to make that top 5, right? Because I mean, you got every time with the Olympia, it seems any division, there's the names. You know, everybody's looking for the certain names, and we all know who the top 5, top 6, top 7 are going to be. So for somebody to come in who just won a pro show and to just move in, I mean, it could happen, but they're going to have to really be impressive.
Yeah. Well, that's why I threw out those names. Tonio Burton, I think that's his name.
Okay.
From Indy. Because if he improves, he's wild.
Okay.
And the guy Coelho, Lucas, because they're big, really big, structurally big and round. So they could very well come in and knock off some of these guys.
Yeah.
You know, the guys like Jewett and Epler and some of those guys are, they're going to come in shape. They're going to be very, very nice physiques, but they're just, too tall and finished compared to some of these other guys. So, keep an eye on the Brazilian. He's got dreadlocks like over his, actually, so does Tonio Burton.
Okay.
So keep an eye out. You'll like those guys.
Okay. So our pick is Derek. We're both picking Derek. Okay.
All right.
Let's go to Classic. So last year we had Bumstead win his second time, and it was dominating. Like nobody was even close to him. Everybody was expecting another Bumstead, Breon Ansley rematch. And Breon actually ended up in third behind Terrence Ruffin, who sneaked into second. So it looks like he is the dominant guy, and he's going to be hard to beat.
I think it's a runaway, worse than last year. Yeah, just because I think he's in his zone. He's confident now. He knows what he's got to do. His physique is, it's just perfect. And he's got the face, the hair, the swag, the whole, the lisp. He's the savage. He's got it all.
Yeah.
But I think the next best guy to do some damage, there's 2 guys that I think those other names, I don't think Terrence Ruffin's going to be ready. Something's telling me. I've been seeing pictures of him. He looks a little behind from where I've seen him before. And when you're a smaller structured guy compared to the 6'2" Chris Bumstead, you got to really bring something extra special. I think he's about 5'5".
Yeah.
You got to bring it. And I have a feeling he's a little behind. I think Breon is another year older. So we're looking at maybe 41, somewhere in there. I think he's going to be better than he was last year, because something tells me he's going back to hardcore, old school condition, hard muscle. And I think he tried to out strategize last year.
Yeah.
Rather than coming in just playing his own game.
Yeah.
Which is crazy hard condition, symmetry, all that. But he tried to do some things that didn't work out for him. But now my biggest thing is this guy, they call him the Mr. Classic Physique. He just won a show over Logan Franklin.
Robert Timms.
Robert Timms. He had disappeared for a few years.
Yeah.
Now he's got the height. He's got the width. His back double by is going to be untouchable.
He's super hard.
He's crazy conditioned.
Yeah.
I don't know that his legs match up with Chris Bumstead, but a lot of other things do. His arms are better. You know, he's conditioned. He's a little grainier, like crazier looking.
Yeah.
We'll have to see it on stage. I think Chris still edges him out with perfect symmetry everywhere, front to back, top to bottom, side to side. You know,
A little bit better structure, maybe.
Yeah. And then Brian Jones is going to take a leap this year.
Yeah.
And he's going to move up. I think he was 4th last year.
He was 5th.
5th. I think he's going to be better. He's
Yeah.
going to be better than that because he's no longer a shock. There's no more shock value to him. Like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Now they're looking for him, and they're going to say, yep, he belongs right there. So now you're going to have some tall guys. You're going to have Chris Bumstead. You're going to have Brian Jones. You're going to have Timms. And I think that might be your top 3.
Yeah, because Chris Bumstead was up against Terrence and Breon last year. And I think those were the only comparisons they made was between those 3 for the top 3. So he was much, much bigger, much taller than those guys. So it really wasn't much of a contest. But you're right. Now he's going up against taller guys like Robert Timms and, Brian Jones. So now he's going to have guys who are going to be able to compete with him structure-wise and height-wise.
Yes. And I think that's why Ruffin cannot afford to be even 1% off.
Yeah, right.
Not only does Breon leapfrog him, but those other 2 guys will leapfrog him.
Yeah.
And I see that happening if he's not 1,000,000% at his best.
Yeah.
And, and it, because of the whole structure thing, if these guys get a call out next to Bumstead, then unfortunately, I think Breon might get moved aside. Even though I think we're going to see a better Breon, he might end up in a 3rd, 4th spot because these guys are improving. They're hot on the trail. Their names are fresh and they're going to be looking for them. They're going to get the opportunity to get that call out. And I just think structurally there's more wow. Breon has the knotted up back and the really mature muscle. And I really love what he brings.
Yeah, I do too.
And, I hate even, saying that he's not going to win because I love the guy. But I just think the way that the judging is going, because Chris Bumstead is Mr. Olympia, you might see more similar physiques get the opportunity to stand next to him. And when you do, you might say, well, that guy kind of looks a little better next to him than Breon does, at 7 inches shorter than him.
Yeah.
And same thing as Ruffin. Ruffin is similar to Keon in that he's so perfectly structurally beautiful. And, but if he's not 100%, it ruins it,
Yeah.
And last year he was awesome. He was lights out condition. And if he doesn't bring that same thing, they're going to move him aside.
Yeah.
Because other than that awesome structure, nothing else is impressive. He's not ultra wide. He's not ultra tall. He's not,
No.
He's only checking one box where these guys are going to check a lot.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were talking about Terrence last year. Like, man, this guy doesn't get his due. He's awesome. And I think even at the Arnold in March in 2020, he got second to Alejandro Campanero. And a lot of people thought he should have beat Alejandro. So I think he had, kind of the sympathy, not the sympathy vote, but, I think people were talking about him saying this guy deserves better. And then he ended up being Breon and ended up 2nd place. So that was a huge victory for him.
Well, he's deserved the notoriety for a few years.
Yeah.
He's been very good for a while now.
Yeah.
He was a little small. I mean, I think he was competing at 165.
Yeah.
Really small. 5'5", 165.
Is he 5'5"? Okay, I was going to ask you.
Yeah. And then it wasn't until, his body started maturing a little bit. His confidence, his presentation just kept getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
And he deserved every bit of that 2nd place last year.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling, and I hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling he's taken a step back.
Yeah. It's got to be frustrating for Breon being a 2-time champion, and then he loses. Like that one year he lost, the first year he lost to Bumstead. He was improved, like we talked about last year.
Oh, yeah.
He still lost. And then he trained hard again, and then he came back last year and he got third. So it's got to be frustrating because he does have a great physique. He is a 2-time champion, and he's kind of dropping down in the placings now, you know.
Well, that's called evolution. The sport is evolving. It's changing. It's like, you know, we didn't know what it was until we saw it. You know, it was one of those things. The same thing with bikini, same thing with the new wellness division. We don't really know what it is until we see it. And at the time when Breon was winning, he was the best we had.
Yeah.
You know, it took a little while for Chris to come out of the, you know, come out from the darkness and show himself.
Yeah.
And now that's the look. And you know, it's going to be very hard to beat that.
Yeah. Chris improved a lot every year too. And he always had the structure and the height. It was just a matter of improving. Like he really improved his back. Last year he was so dramatically improved. I thought it was a slam dunk.
It was.
Yeah.
And I think it will be again, because as good as those other guys are, I don't think they have like every one of those boxes checked yet. You know, the polish of, you know, even his skin tone, his skin color, his skin, you know, he's just perfect in every way for that division, you know.
It seems like no matter what division it is, when a guy wins, he's Mr. Olympia in whatever division it is. It changes his mindset. I talked to Peter McGuff about Ronnie Coleman, and he said Ronnie never expected to win that first time in '98, but then after he won, he always had that Mr. Olympia mindset, you know, every year. It totally changed his whole persona because he said, now I'm the best. You know, he believed it, and he believed it himself. And I think that's the same thing with Chris. And I think Chris is just going to come in totally ready again, but even better because he knows what it takes to win. He's been there. He's won it twice now. And he knows exactly what he has to do to improve, and I think he's going to do it.
Yeah. Well, lots of other things in your life change to make that easier. You start getting contracts, you start making money. You know, you don't have to work a 9-to-5 job anymore. You can focus more on improving on those things that you need to. So he has no excuse not to win. Right. He has the genetics, he has the structure, he has it all, and he has the time to do it.
Yeah.
So I expect nothing but the best out of Chris, and I feel bad for everyone else trying to come after him. But it is exciting seeing these other physiques. You know, the fact that we hadn't seen Robert Timms in a few years. Yeah. Now he's back and better than ever. And Brian Jones is, you know, he's just unbelievable to watch. You know, if Chris wasn't here, that would be your ideal, right? You know,
do you think Brian Jones is going to put it together as far as coming in really ripped and coming in peaked and to be a force, to be in that top 3?
Yeah. I've yet to see him not. You know, I've seen a few shows of him when he turned pro, when he did one other pro show, and then Chicago last year, and then the Olympia. Every single one, I was mind boggled, like how sliced in certain shots. He does a lot of really unorthodox posing. Like it's almost strange, but it's incredible.
I thought he was a little off last year, but he still took 5th just based on his great structure and his great genetics.
Right.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where Robert Timms goes, because I think that guy, if he comes in, you know, really ready, I think he's going to be a 4. I think he'll be in that top 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about Logan Franklin? He's getting a lot of buzz and stuff. And do you think he could be in that top 5?
Yes, he could be top 5, 6, right on the edge.
Okay.
Right on the, you know, he's very good at what he does, which is come in shape and pose, great
poser,
presentation. He just doesn't have the same lines, the same muscle shape as the other guys in front of him, you know. But he's certainly one to watch. I don't see him cracking top 4, 5, could be 6, 7.
Okay.
See him in there.
Yeah.
You know, he just doesn't have everything those other guys do. He's kind of like overachieved, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't look at him out of the gate and be like, that guy, you know? But then you see him and, wow, he's improved. Next show, he's improved. Wow. He went from men's physique to this. Wow. Yeah. He really has improved. And
he only got 9th last year at the Olympia, so.
Yeah, so 6th would be a huge improvement.
Yeah.
Because the division's only getting more talented, more competitive. So, yeah, I mean, top 6 would be a stretch, but I could see him sliding into 6, especially because he's done a lot to promote himself. He's very good. He's a fan favorite. People like him. He will get every opportunity to be there in the top 6.
Mm-hmm.
Will he do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I doubt it. If he was 9th last year, he's gotten better, but so has the division. So,
what about that kid from Germany that won the Tampa? Did you see pictures of him? He's a really young kid. I think he's like 24.
Yeah.
Real good physique as far as like great vacuum, real sliced legs. Probably not the maturity or the muscle size needed to beat some of these top guys, but I think it'll be exciting to see him. You know, he's got a lot of enthusiasm, real positive attitude.
Yeah.
So,
he's another one of those guys that just nails the classic poses.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He every last bit of him screams classic. And it's kind of fun. It's fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, real fun to watch.
Puts on a good show. And
he was one of the highlights at that Tampa show.
Yeah. It takes you back to the 70s when guys posed that way. And you know, I like it. I like it a lot. I just don't know if he has the muscle maturity, the size yet to stand with those bigger guys. Because I mean, it is bodybuilding.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
There is a size aspect to it. You know? And you know,
the thing that's exciting about Chris, when I interviewed him last year, he said he's still got 10 more pounds to go before he reaches his limit in class. So as good as he was last year, he still can add 10 more pounds, which is crazy. Yeah,
that's what I love about it. You know, that's why I think he's going to run away with it. I think it's going to come out and pretty much be one call out. And Chris, back in line. Good night. Go put your feet up. You know, I think it's going to be that simple.
Wow. How many years do you think he can win it?
He's, what is he, 27?
Yeah, I think so. He's still in the
10? If he stays healthy and you know.
You think he win it 10 more years?
10 more? He's got two already.
Yeah.
8 more? Sure. Easy.
Really? Wow.
Sure, absolutely.
Even with all this new talent coming in every year? I mean, it seems like every year we're getting new guys.
Yeah, but he's in 10 years, he's only going to be 37.
And he's going to get bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah. It doesn't have to do anything drastic.
Yeah.
Just slowly enjoy your game. Enjoy what you're doing. Train.
And it seems like he's smart enough to know that.
Yes, he is. And he's got a great team around him. You know, his
which
family,
is very important.
Yes. And these are people that will talk to him in that manner. You don't got to do anything special.
Yeah.
Just stay healthy. Keep coming back. You can do it as long as you want to. Imagine someone saying that to you. You can be the best in the world as long as you want to. And that's pretty much what we're seeing.
Plus, he's probably the most popular bodybuilder in the world, right? He's more popular than any of the open men. He's got a bigger fan base, I think, than anybody.
Yeah, certainly amongst the women.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think on his Instagram following, he's got millions and millions of followers.
Yeah, I think he has 1 billion followers. 1 billion. He might as well. It doesn't, you know.
He's like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
I love the guy. I think it's exciting. I can't wait to see that in 10 years. Where is that? You know.
Yeah.
But he's smart. He's got a good business marketing himself and his social media and the problem with 10 years is the whole thing changes. 10 years ago, we didn't have Instagram. We didn't have any of the nonsense,
Right.
It changed the sport so much.
Oh, it did.
10 years.
Totally different, yeah.
It's going to be very different. And, Chris will be one of the older guys having to adapt to this new virtual whatever,
Yeah, wherever it goes, right?
Yeah, who knows what it's going to be like?
Right. So who do you think is going to be second, Jose? We're kind of saying Breon and Terrence might be out of that top three. So who do you think will rise up to second? You think it'll be Tim's?
Either Tim's or
Brian Jones. Yeah.
So Brian Jones has the legs.
Yeah, he
to
does.
stand with him. He doesn't have the insane shoulder width of Chris or Tim's, but he does have the legs, and that's important because Chris has really good legs.
Yeah, real good legs.
So, I don't think he can beat Chris, but it's funny if you combine the two of them, they would beat Chris because Tim's upper body's insanity with the wide shoulders and crazy arms.
Yeah,
and then Brian Jones's legs are crazy. But yeah, either one of them.
Where is Chris weak? Still the arms, you think?
Yeah, that's the only thing. He's got really long arms.
He brought up his back. His back is really good.
Yeah, his back's awesome.
He's got the great structure. He's got the great legs.
He's got a front lat spread that looks like Dorian Yates at his best. You know what I mean? It's so impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be about it. I don't see any other weakness.
Yeah.
And I think it would throw his physique off, to be honest with you, if they got too big.
Yeah.
Like they've gotten better. They look awesome in a side chest.
Yeah.
It's just when they're overhead, it's a very short bicep.
Yeah, it's
on a very long arm.
just the shape of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he's fine. I don't think he really has any weaknesses because the arms don't hurt him enough to be a weakness.
No.
But if he could improve, I'm sure he would try to make his arms a little bigger.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go with Chris again. And I think those other two guys that you mentioned, they probably will be up there.
Yeah. I hope Breon, if you saw that interview with Steve Weinberger last year after the Olympia, he said if Breon brought his best, he would have been fighting for first. That says a lot. He just said that Breon was off. So
it seems like Breon is maybe a little more relaxed this year because it's not as focused on him and Chris like it was last year.
Right.
I think he was really focused on, okay, this is the rematch again. I got to get it back. There's a lot of pressure. And when that pressure's on you, I think sometimes that doesn't lead to great results. So I think if he feels like he's not being talked about, now he can rise up and he's more relaxed. And he does look really, really good. I've been following him on Instagram. He looks really good coming into this.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of back and forth last year in social media. And that's never good for anyone.
Yeah, it was just focused on those two.
Yeah, and they were getting involved in it. And they're two awesome champions. You hate to see that. I didn't like it. I'm glad that there's none of that this year.
No.
And that does bode well for them. That means they're focused on themselves, on what they're doing.
Yeah.
And not worrying about what anyone else is saying. Don't watch this podcast. That's the worst thing you can do as a competitor is stop watching.
Start getting involved, right? Yeah.
All the guys are gonna hate me. Fuck, you didn't mention my name, or you had me in third. I don't know.
Hey, what about Alejandro Cambanero? Now, he won the Arnold last year. He was fourth last year. He beat Brian Jones. So he's not really being talked about, but he's got a fantastic physique.
Yeah, and he comes in great shape.
Always, yeah.
Very balanced. He's a former excellent 212 bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He won a bunch of shows. He did a few Olympias as a 212 guy.
Yeah.
And he belongs in that conversation. See, he's someone that would probably handily beat a Logan Franklin.
Yeah.
But he's not gonna win, and he's probably not gonna be third.
Yeah.
That tells you how competitive this is.
Oh yeah.
I would have him in the same area.
About fourth.
First call out.
Yeah, fourth or fifth. Yeah.
And any which way that it could flip. I think one of those guys is gonna bump him out.
Yeah.
Tim's or Jones. I think he beat, would you say he beat Brian Jones last year?
Yeah, Brian was fifth. He was fourth.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I think all those guys are going to be around that same area again, and one of them is going to get bumped.
I think the guy to really watch out for, in my opinion, would be Brian Jones. If he can really hit his peak, come in really ripped and realize that potential, I think he's going to really move up.
Yeah, when we get off, go back and look at last year's Chicago Pro.
Okay.
He nailed it for that show. It was ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
He had some crazy side tricep shots that were just nuts.
Yeah, he's got a lot of size, man. A lot of potential.
Yeah.
All right, Jose. Well, thank you very much again for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And we always welcome you on the show because you're an expert commentator.
All right, my friend. My pleasure. We'll talk soon.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thanks.